Have you ever felt completely stuck? Like you're on a treadmill, running hard, but going nowhere. You've got a stable job, a steady income, but there's this nagging feeling of emptiness inside. You look in the mirror and think, is this really it? Is this all my life is going to be? That was exactly where my friend Alex found himself a few years ago. He was trapped in a cycle of comfort and quiet desperation, feeling his potential just wither away day by day. Alex knew he wanted more. He dreamt of starting his own business, of building something he could be proud of. But the moment he thought about taking that first step, a wall of fear would shoot up. No brilliant ideas, not enough capital, and a paralyzing sense of not knowing where to even begin. It felt like trying to climb a mountain in the dark. He'd spend hours, days, weeks, just thinking, planning, and researching, but never actually doing anything. The fear of failure kept him completely frozen. Finally, he decided to just go for it. He scraped together some savings and launched a small online store selling niche products. It was a total flop. He barely made any sales. Undeterred, he pivoted to freelance consulting, thinking his corporate experience would give him an edge. But again, crickets. He struggled to find clients, and the few he did get didn't lead to anything substantial. Each failure felt like a punch to the gut. His savings dwindled, and worse, his self-confidence took a massive hit. He started to believe the voice in his head that said, "See, you can't do this. You're not cut out for it." He was on the verge of giving up, ready to retreat back to the safety of his old job. But one night, sitting alone in his apartment, surrounded by unsold inventory and unanswered emails, he had a crucial realization. He asked himself, what was he truly afraid of? Was it really failure itself? Losing the money? No. When he dug deep, he realized his biggest fear was looking like a fool. He was terrified of what his friends, his family, and his old colleagues would think. He was scared of their judgment, their pity, their "I told you so's." The fear wasn't about failing. It was about being seen as a failure. And in that same moment, a second, more powerful realization hit him like a lightning bolt. He thought about going back to his old job, back to that predictable, soul-crushing routine. And suddenly, that felt 1,000 times more terrifying than any business failure. The idea of standing still, of being in the exact same spot 5 or 10 years from now, filled him with a sense of dread that was far deeper and more chilling than the fear of looking foolish. Stagnation, he realized, wasn't just standing still. It was a slow death. It was actively choosing to let his dreams and potential die. That was the real failure. This shift in perspective changed everything. It was bigger and stronger than his fear of judgment. He stopped trying to come up with some revolutionary, world-changing business idea. Instead, he decided to start small, incredibly small. He asked himself, what's a small problem I know how to solve right now? He thought about his corporate background and how he was always good at streamlining processes. He knew a lot of small business owners struggled with operational efficiency. It wasn't a glamorous idea, but it was a real problem he understood. So he took a tiny, almost laughably small action. He reached out to a few local business owners he knew and offered them a free 30-minute diagnostic call. He wasn't trying to sell them a massive consulting package. His only goal was to listen. He just listened to their frustrations about wasted time, disorganized workflows, and inefficient systems. And then, based on what he heard, he would suggest one or two tiny, easy-to-implement changes. Maybe it was a simple software tool to automate a repetitive task, or a new way to organize their daily to-do list. Something amazing started to happen. These small suggestions worked. The business owners were grateful. They started seeing small but immediate improvements in their operations. His free diagnostic calls turned into paid projects. He wasn't making a fortune, but he was making progress. He was building momentum, one small action at a time. Each tiny win built his confidence and, more importantly, gave him clarity on what to do next. He discovered that direction and purpose don't come from sitting around thinking. They come from doing, from trying things, from stumbling, getting back up, and adjusting your course. Looking back, Alex realized his journey wasn't about avoiding failure. It was about choosing which fear to listen to. He chose to fear the ghost of his future self, the one who would look back with regret and ask, what if? He chose to fear the comfortable prison of stagnation more than the temporary sting of failure. Those initial failed businesses weren't a waste of time or money. They were proof of life. They were evidence that he was moving, learning, and trying. They were the clumsy first steps on the path to finding what truly worked. Failure is just data. Stagnation is the end of the story. So if you're feeling stuck right now, if you're paralyzed by the fear of what might go wrong, I want you to ask yourself this: what's scarier? Trying something and potentially failing, or waking up in 10 years exactly where you are today? Don't wait for the perfect plan or a flash of inspiration. Find the smallest possible action you can take right now, today, to move toward what you want. Make that call. Write that first paragraph. Learn that one new skill. Because clarity doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. Your future self will thank you for it. Thanks for watching. And if this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more content to help you unlock your potential.